In a room full of people who are clearly, demonstrably wrong about something simple, something you can see with your own eyes, a significant portion of people will go along with the wrong answer anyway. Not because they're stupid, not because they secretly agree, because being the only person in a room who sees things differently activates something in your brain that's more powerful in the moment than your confidence in your own perception. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch ran a now famous series of experiments where participants were asked to do a simple visual task. Look at a line and identify which of three other lines matched it in length. The answer was always obvious. Under normal conditions, people almost never made errors. But when participants were placed in a group where everyone else, actors following a script, consistently gave the wrong answer, something changed. About 75% of participants conformed to the wrong answer at least once across repeated trials. Overall, people chose the clearly incorrect answer about a third of the time when the group unanimously insisted on it. When asked afterward, many participants said they genuinely began to doubt their own perception. Not just social pressure, something about the unanimous disagreement of those around them made them question what they were seeing. Follow-up research distinguished two separate processes at work. Some participants conformed because they genuinely changed their perception or belief. They actually came to see the wrong line as the right answer because unanimous social input overrode their sensory processing. Others conformed while privately knowing the group was wrong, simply to avoid the social discomfort of being the outlier. These are called informational influence and normative influence, respectively, and they're distinct. Informational influence is your brain updating its model of reality based on social input, which is often adaptive, since other people's observations genuinely carry information about the world. Normative influence is the cost of social exclusion. Being visibly different from a group triggers social pain, and the brain will often prefer a wrong answer that avoids that pain. One of Asch's most striking findings was what happened when just one other person in the group gave the correct answer. Even when everyone else still gave the wrong answer, the presence of a single ally reduced conformity dramatically from about 32% wrong answers to under 6%. You don't need unanimous agreement to resist social pressure. You need not to be alone. The brain's aversion isn't to disagreement itself, it's to being the sole outlier. One other person seeing what you see is enough to substantially restore your ability to trust your own perception. Conformity under social pressure isn't a laboratory curiosity. It operates in meetings, in medical decisions, in legal deliberations, in any situation where individuals are making judgments in the presence of a group. People who privately disagree often stay silent not because they're weak, but because the social cost of dissent is processed by the brain as genuinely threatening, and that processing happens before the conscious decision to speak. Understanding this doesn't make you immune to it, but it does explain why the most valuable thing you can do in any decision-making group isn't to be contrarian. It's to make it safe for others to disagree so that the single ally effect can work in both directions. So if you've ever gone along with something you knew was wrong, stayed quiet in a meeting, nodded at an answer you didn't believe, you weren't being cowardly, you were being human. Your brain was doing what it's been trained to do for a very long time. Prioritize belonging over accuracy when the cost of the alternative felt too high. The question isn't whether this happens, it's whether you notice it happening in time to do something different. If you want to learn more about this topic, feel free to subscribe.